Du arbeitst. That's what the rule gives you. Take the verb, chop off the n, add st for do. And it's wrong. It's du arbeitest with an extra e. Most people meet German verb endings on day 1, get a sentence like that wrong on day 2, and quietly decide the table can't be trusted. It can. There are exactly 4 endings. They cover almost every verb in the language, and the 2 things that seem to break them are both completely predictable. Stay to the end for those 2. They're the difference between knowing the table and actually being able to use it. Here's the whole system. Take the infinitive, machen, to do, and cut off the n. That leaves the stem, mach. Now add the ending. Ich takes e, ich mache. Du takes st, du machst. Sie and es all take t, macht. And wir, sie plural and the polite sie take n, which is the infinitive again, so there's nothing new to learn. Wir machen. That's 4 endings for 6 persons. Learn this one table and you can conjugate almost every verb in German. Almost, because sein and haben are genuinely irregular, and you memorize those 2 separately. Let's prove it's mechanical. Wohnen, to live. Stem wohn. Ich wohne in Köln. Trinken, to drink. Stem trink. Du trinkst Kaffee. Spielen, to play. Stem Spiel. Spielt Karten. Same 3 steps every time. Cut the n, look at who is doing it. Add the ending. Notice you never have to think about what the verb means. That's the useful part. The ending only cares about the person. So a verb you've never seen before conjugates exactly like one you know well. One thing worth pausing on, because it saves you a lot of confusion later. 3 different persons all take n. Wir, sie meaning they, and the polite sie. So wir machen, sie machen, and sie machen look identical. You tell them apart by the pronoun, never by the verb. But ihr, you, speaking to several people, does not join that group. Ihr takes t, the same ending as ihr. Ihr macht. Ihr trinkt. Ihr spielt. English speakers reach for n there constantly, because ihr feels plural and plural feels like n. It isn't. Now the first thing that breaks the table, and it's the one from the cold open. Look at arbeiten, to work. The stem is Arbeit. It already ends in te. Add the du ending and you'd get arbeitst, with te and st jammed together. You physically can't say that cleanly, so German slides an a in. Du arbeitest. And the same for not Arbeit but arbeitet. This happens whenever the stem ends in te or de. Antworten, to answer. Du antwortest, antwortet. Finden, to find. Du findest, findet. It isn't an exception you memorize word by word. It's your mouth telling you where an a has to go. The second one is a sound change, and it's the one that makes learners think a verb is irregular when it isn't. Some verbs shift their stem vowel. Fahren, to travel, becomes du fährst. Fährt a turns into ä. Lesen, to read, becomes du liest. Liest. E turns into ie. Helfen, to help, becomes du hilfst. Hilft. A turns into e. Here's the part nobody tells you clearly. The change only ever hits du and sie, s. Everywhere else the verb behaves completely normally. Ich fahre. Wir fahren. Ihr fahrt. So it isn't a different verb with different rules. It's the same table, with 2 boxes wearing a different vowel. Everything on one board. Cut the n, add the ending. Ich du st, wir n, ihr t, sie n. Break 1. If the stem ends in t or d, slip an e in du arbeitest, arbeitet. Break 2. Some verbs change their stem vowel, and only in the du and forms. Du fährst, liest, sie hilft. And the 2 genuinely irregular ones you just learn. Sein and haben. Screenshot this. But screenshots don't teach. The endings become automatic somewhere around the 50th sentence you build with them, not the first time you read the table. So build some sentences. That's genuinely the whole difference. There's a free drill on the site made for exactly this lesson. The 4 endings, the te and day trap, and the vowel changes mixed in so they stop surprising you. No sign up needed, and the links in the description. Go and get a few wrong where it costs you nothing. Then Du Arbeites stops being a rule you recite, and starts being the form your mouth reaches for first.